right, here we are, our students back at the drawing table, and I'm going to get back into the series of action poses because I think that's one thing beginning drawers really need is to work on your anatomy and your poses, especially if you want to go into comic books later on. So what I have done here is I've taken the liberty to start out with this drawing, and the reason why I started out with a drawing is that as a beginner artist, we tend to draw what we see first before we start making our own poses. So it would be easier for you to see it and then draw it as I redraw this and you follow along. So this is what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to draw it enough for you guys to get going with it. Then I'm going to redraw it, showing you detail, and then at the end, I'm going to finish it and turn it into one of my characters, but that's going to be on the Patreon channel. So it's going to be like a two-part where you get the beginning to know how to do it, and at the end, it's detailed, like dressing the character, doing faces, expressions, breaking down little things to where you can bring your character to life instead of just having an open pose like this. So the body is just pieces. I'm trying to say how I can present this to you guys. If you look at anything, I'm trying to grab something that has multiple parts to it. Let's see this, if I can pull this out here. Okay, so this is I'm not gonna say it because it's gonna light up. And this is made of pieces, okay? If you take this apart, you'd have a bunch of pieces on your desk, and then you put them back together. And if you put them back together right, then it should work. And it's the same thing with the body. The body has multiple pieces to it. You have your head, you have your neck, you have your bicep, tricep, you have your, here I go again with this not knowing and I do this all the time, your forearm, but you get, torso, you get the idea. So if you break stuff down, I don't care what it is, if you break stuff down and draw it by their pieces, then you'll be able to draw anything. I mean, that's the fundamentalness of drawing. That's basically all it is you see something, and I'm looking for something else that's a little less rounder. Let me get this little massager here. If you see something, the first thing you should do is say, okay, where is it? You say, this is a shape. This is another shape, the shapes in between here, show it on camera, so you break these shapes down and you draw them piece by piece. And the same way, if you're putting something, like I said, the little thing, if you take it apart and you put it back together, it's going to look good and it's going to work. It's going to look right and it's going to work. So, yeah, so whenever you look at anything, break it down. And I don't care how many videos you look at or how many books you read, if you start out with this, break it down, because as I said, drawing is just taking a shape, you put it on top of another shape, you add another shape, you bend it, you twist it, and then you have your drawing. It's very simple to do that. It's just that people see the whole thing. Since the big guys right here, people see the whole thing and then they want to try to draw the whole thing. But if you break each part down and you learn how to, as I say, bend it, twist it, turn it, all of this stuff, and then you will be able to draw anything. If you know how to take a triangle and you draw a triangle and you take it from the side, you say, okay, a triangle from the side is going to look like this. If you take it from the top, if you can see it from the top, it will look like that. So it's simple, but a lot of us, we don't want to take the time to just learn this, and then we wonder why our drawings are not improving. We want to just get there and we want to draw, one complete figure, and then you don't get it. You may get it in time, but it'll take a long time, and a lot of artists quit because they get frustrated. All right, so that's my words of wisdom today for now, this video. Let's get going with the drawing. All right, so first of all, when I see a drawing, and this is not going to be an exact recreation of it, I don't think, because usually I'll draw on it's not poster board. I can't think of what it's called. It's cardstock versus this. That way, cardstock is thicker, and it will take a beating. You can erase it and you can ink it, and it'll hold up versus this regular printer paper. So, yeah. Anyway, it's a thought that just came out. So what I do when I see a drawing and that I want to do, and as we go on that, if you are drawing your characters, and I encourage you to start drawing characters, develop your own character, get away from Batman and Superman and Goku and this and that, and start drawing your own characters. I don't know why you are an artist. What's your goal? If you think that one day you're going to, make money, if that's your goal is to make money, or if just to be seen or whatever, or you're just drawing just because, it relaxes you. But, and I lost that thought. I would say get away, develop your own character. Even if you don't do a book, develop your own character, and you have a love for that character, and you can bring it to life, and eventually you just give it a life, versus drawing Batman all the time. Here's a Batman, here's another Batman, here's another Batman. I'll put it up online, and you put it up online, and here's a better Batman, here's a better Batman than that, here's a better Batman than that. So, if you are not trying to get noticed, then that's fine. But if you want people to see and comment on your work, then, do something different. So anyway, all right, if you have a character, take Batman for instance, and you want to draw him, you want to put that character in that pose that represents his character or her character. So, Batman, you won't see Batman sitting, with his feet crossed in a meditation position. You won't see that. Batman would be more on the roof, looking down on the city, maybe with his cape, blowing in the wind. That would be more of a Batman. Like Wolverine wouldn't be, well, Wolverine's a different character. For him, it would be, crouched out with his claws, or attacking with his claws open. He wouldn't just be standing on the corner, leaning on a lamppost. That's more like not the Spectre, I guess what's the guy with the no face in DC? One of those like detective kind of things. So you wanna make your position fit your character. All right, again, like I said, enough, but knowledge is 70%, talent is 30. All right, so what I see here, when I first see something, I'm going to look at the basic shape of it. I'm not going to look at the abs and say, oh, how can I draw that? I'm going to look at the torso, which way the torso is leaning, which way the shoulders are leaning, and then go from there. So I'm going to say, here's the torso here. And this is a weird light. I have this light on. I really can't do this light. Let me change it and see. Hopefully it's a blue light. That's a little better. I've got an overhead light that changes all these light frequencies or whatever. Changes the colors so you can see differently. Okay, so anyway, and I'm going to notice that his shoulders are going this way. So that means that if it's his rib cage, it's got to go the same way. The bottom of the rib cage has to meet there. It can't be going up like this, flat. It has to be the same way. Same, because this is a solid piece. It's going to go on the same angle. It's going to go like that, okay? So then I'm going to do the center line because I know which way I'm going. So if I'm doing the center line, I should have did the center line first because that tells me where the top of this tunnel, as I used to call it. But for the beginners, let's do a triangle. And then from here to wherever this line is just an angle line, Brian. You are so ahead of yourself that it's not funny. All right, so we've got this, we've got that angle. So I want to put the collarbone across here too. So this is going to be where the neck is. The collarbone is going to go up, but it's going to be right there. It's going to go up, making that V. So wherever that is, the roundness of this is going to be the same roundness on that side. And that way you can tell kind of where the side of the character is going. Yeah. All right. And also your delts. You put your delts at the edge of that because your collarbone is like this, and then it goes right into the delt. It goes between the delt, actually. Let's do the big guy since we're here. Since I'm here. The shoulder's up. This thing has a problem with shoulders going up and down. Okay, so you see your collarbone, right? Your collarbones go right pretty much to the middle, almost to the middle. And then your delt goes all the way around. So if you, wherever your collarbone ends, this is what I'm saying about putting the pieces together right. Wherever your collarbone ends, then your delt begins. So however high you have that collarbone, or whatever angle you put that collarbone, your delt is going to be on the very end of it. It's a given. It just has to be there. So let's just say this, and I'm gonna do a quick rough of this, just to show you guys. So the other one is down low, and then it's going to be the delt right here. I'm not going to put the arms or anything on there yet. I'm just getting the rough. You want to get a rough. You don't want to say, okay, this is the final piece, because it's the rough. Somebody asked me on Facebook, what's the purpose of me drawing with a red and blue pen, which I always do. The red is, I like the feel of the way it goes across paper versus a pencil, a regular pencil. So the red is just for my roughs. The blues, I'll come in once I get it right. I'll go over it with blue. So these are the lines that I'm going to stick with. The blue one, if I'm going to ink it. And then if I'm going to really do a really good job, I'll come back over it with the pencil, because I can see the blue over the red. So if I have a lot of lines like this in red, just really rough sketches, then I can come back with the blue and say, okay, this goes here, this goes here. Then I'll wait, and then I'll come back with a pencil to give it more detail, because I can sharpen my pencil a little better and it has a harder point. So, okay, so we have this here, and then so the waist is going to turn. So if you're doing the body like this, and a lot of times, depending on how you stand, you want to do the opposite of the other end, and it gives you more action in your poses. A lot of times I'll do this, but then I'll end up with the hips the same direction, and that kind of takes away some of the action. I looked at all of my old drawings today. I bought some sleeves and a book and notebook, and I put all my old drawings in that, and I was looking at them and I was saying, okay, this could be better, this could be this, or you could have did that to that. So that's a good thing. Keep all your drawings for a time. And I'll pull out those sleeves and stuff later and show you. Okay, so, after this part right here, after the hips, after the torso, part one, torso, collarbone, delt, and delt. It's amazing that I'm keeping this on the camera. You have your waist, which is just this. If you're looking forward, straight forward, if you're looking straight forward on the thing, I've got doing that with my hand, but I'm over there. If he's tilted any, example, this you would say is a rectangle, but if it tilts any, it becomes more of a three-dimensional rectangle. I was gonna say a square. So the same thing with the waist. If I could chop his waist off right here, it would be more like this. But the second he bends forward, you're going to see that. So this is going to turn into an oval. Yes, I was going to say per se, but it will turn into oval. But because this is on top of it, you won't see it. But this won't be flat anymore. It's going to turn. All right, so we got this. But for my rough sketch, I would just do that and then come back with the actual shape. As I said, rough sketch. So this is going down here, and then I'm going to follow with my line, twist that line. You want to give it a little bit of a twist because you always want the action. And then the upside down house. For those people that are new, the upside down house is just your waist, hips, which resemble an upside down house. Turn it over, and then your legs connect, It's very simple. When I taught myself to draw, because I had nobody to teach me, I had to break each part down, and this is how I learned, and to make it easy for me, so I know I'm drawing each piece. I'm not just trying to draw this and this. My daughter can do that. I can't do that. I had to break it down in pieces. So we have that, and then we flatten that. So now I've got this, so I want to actually turn this way. to give it more of this turn here and give it more of this pinch right here. So remember, if you turn your top half, or if you tilt your top half, tilt the other side the opposite direction to give you that extra, I don't want to say flow, all right? So, and of course, you know the body is round. So again, if this is twisted any, then it's not going to be flat. It's going to take that roundness like that. So if we're going to draw the waist, or just imagine drawing a belt around the character. Now, the one thing about the waist is you have your love handles, which are your, I'm going to stop naming this. It just helps when you know the name. Love handles are the obliques. Thank you, your obliques. And they're shaped like this. They go around your back, halfway around your back, but they're here. And this is what creates that ab. The ab, and it comes in and it goes in like this. So it's going to be shaped like this, like that, because your love handles or obliques fit right there, right up under that part, torso, thank you. And it goes down into the crotch, okay? So, but the crotch is part of the upside down house, all right? So you have that. Center line is going your head over here for those who are just lost. Your collarbone, your delts, your lats would be way out here because that's an extra muscle, it's not a bone. So right now we're just doing the basic shape without putting a lot of muscles on it. And you have your obliques, which fit right on top of your upside down house. And you want to leave room for your junk, the man junk. Yeah. So we got this, and I'm drawing into my picture now, which is not good. Okay, we have this turn. You always want to get that turn. You want to keep that in there, that center line in there. And then you will have this leg. So the legs are the same thing as the arms. Your arm is, you have your delts, which is, get back in here, we're gonna need you, which is this. You have your bicep, tricep, which can be an oval, or if you want to, you can do the rectangle or the cylinder. If it's turned, cylinder. If it's like this, and somebody asked me one time, what do you use those for? This represents the bicep, tricep, and this will represent your forearm, that bend. Yeah, if your arm is straight like this, then you can use like just rectangle. But the second it bends, it becomes a cone cylinder. All right, so this arm is up. And like I say, for me, I'll just do this. I'll just do the oval. It's easier. And then the other part represents the cone because it is wide here near the elbow and it narrows out for the wrist. So the best shape, the easiest shape to do is the cone. And just think of ice cream cone, just a cone. Yeah. But I'm going to do this, the legs. You have your delt, bicep, tricep, and you have your forearm, which represents the cone. And you can put a ball here. Some people teach you to put a ball there. See, Brian, now you're going back to your old habits. A lot of times I don't, but there are circumstances where I do. So the legs are the same thing, except you have this, then the ball, then this. Again, do I need to move my camera? Because you keep pushing your paper away. All right, let's try that. I don't know why I do that. So your thigh is going to be big. It's going to be a big oval. Your knee is the circle, and your leg is the cone. Okay, now you can give some bend to that. Let's just say this is a rough. This is the rough. Now, same thing here. You have that oval. Let's get this guy back in here so you can see as I draw. You have this oval that goes here. And then you have that cone. But that cone for this is actually, it's not going to go down Let me switch to blue because I'm drawing through my thing. You're not going to draw down. You're going to take that cone and you're going to make it go back. And to do that, this is the cone. You just start showing some of the inside and you make this shorter. What I do with a pencil, I tend to like to throw my stuff around. Keep it on camera. So this is your cone. Now, to make it, to put it in, to foreshorten it or put it in perspective, you're just tilting it to make it look like that. You're seeing the opening like that. And the rounder the opening, the more it is facing you and getting even shorter. So if it's all the way around, you're not going to see down in it just like this. But the more you tilt it, the more, I want to see this on camera, the more you'll see some of the side. And that's how you would make a leg go back in perspective or foreshorten it, right? So if I just do a little bit of this, and then I said if I put a foot on it like that, it's almost like you're looking down at the guy as he's looking down, going down. So what I'm going to do here is drawing through. Okay, so let me fix this a little bit more. Bring this out a little bit more. And that's something you have to practice your what am I saying? How long something is. There's another word for that. Your body parts have to be proportioned. Your legs can't be too long, too short, unless your character has long legs or short. All right, so because this is bent, you're not really going to see the knee. You only see the knee when you are in the front. But when you bend it and turn it, you're not really going to see that knee. Come on, throw this leg up the way. You're not going to see that knee, especially when it's going backwards. So in essence, as I said, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take that cone. I'm going to show this, and this could represent the knee. It doesn't have to. And then I'm going to bring it back like that. So that's all that is. It's just that cone. And then you erase the part that you don't need. And then the foot is a triangle. How long is this video? The foot is a triangle like this. That's okay. Half a triangle, sorry. Here's a whole triangle. Is that a triangle? Yeah, it's a triangle. Like that. And then it depends on how much of the front of the foot you see. Okay, good example. There's your triangle. You know, you just chop it off here. Now, if you want to see some of the front of the foot, the top of it, and the side, you just do like that slice of cake. So I'm going to do something like this and like that. All right, that's my foot. Connect my cone right here, because you want to chop it off. Wherever your ankle is, you want to chop it off. You don't want it to be pointy. Connect my leg right there, and I have a foot. And you can still see you see the side and the top as well. And then later when you come back, depends on what you want to put a shoe or something on it. You round it off, and you keep on going. And then you have a foot. So, as I said, go back here. This is that triangle first. Come on, Brian, just use a couple lines. The triangle first. Then I'm going to show the top, cut across here, flatten it out there. And that's going to be the same thing with this. And another thing is, you can, but you can't. You want to watch where your lines are for where your feet are stepping, because that can throw your character off a lot. So you see, I drew this and I drew that because I wanted you guys to see that where I drew the lines, and it's not that far from one another. Whereas if his foot is down here, that line is way, way far apart. I mean, you can do that, but it just kind of like looks like he's either stepping off of a step or he's just out of position, basically. Basically, the ground is not going to move unless, like I said, he's stepping off of a step or something. So let me fix this up a little bit. And you see why I say this is just a rough sketch? Don't start out like trying to draw that. rough sketch. Get your body, get your form right first. Okay, so this line is here, we're going to put this line there. And if you have a problem with that, draw the foot first. You know how to draw the foot. The foot is a triangle. You already have basically where you wanted your leg to be. So draw your triangle here, split it where you want it, and make that slice of cake. And then you go up, and then you connect the two. Say like, I want this right here. This was long enough. And then here's my knee. And then I'm going to put my shin right here. And that makes it a little better, even though, yeah, the first line was right here. Even though I could be a little closer. This could be in, it could be a little closer. Rough sketch. All right, now that we have this arm here. Same thing again with the cone. I'm going to do this and then this. See, now you're not going to be able to see the inside of the cone coming because you can see the point. When you see the point, you're not going to see the inside. Only when it's going back, but this is coming to you. So I just draw this just to show where the end of it connects on this part. And then I will chop it off right there. And then I'm going to put my hand here, which is just represent an oval. And man, that hand is high. Okay, yes it is. Because I'm not looking at this. I'm just kind of like drawing. So for the sake of making a video right, let's bring that hand down. But hopefully you got it. Like I said, 70% knowledge, 30% skill. Why am I drawing it? Why does it look this way? If you have the knowledge to know that, then you have the knowledge, the ability to draw it. I'm just going to square this off. Because you're seeing the back of his hand. When you're seeing the hand, you see the hand is square. I'm working on my handbook. I haven't done it in about 3 days. It's square, this part. But when you turn it, you're going to see the back of your hand. Depending on the angle, you're going to see the back of the hand. And that always kind of like represents, it goes back like a triangle. Just chopped off like that. And then what I do is I just do stick fingers. However, just breaking, each finger down, just two bends, not three, not the three that joints in your finger, just the two, because it's so small. The hand is so small. Nobody's going to say, oh, he doesn't have the third joint. No, they're probably going to be looking at something else versus you don't have a third joint. If I'm drawing a close-up of a hand, different story. All right, so we have this. Of course, you're going to erase that because you drew through it or you drew over it. And then other one, the arm is going to go back and then come out. You're not going to see that, but you just know this delt is here. The arm is going to go back behind him and it's going to come out. And then you're going to have your fist right there. Fist is square. Depending on does he have a fist? Yeah, this guy's got a fist. Depending on the angle, this is, if you look at it, it's more of a square, but it is, okay, time to break out the new piece of paper. Now let's continue with this because it might have some stuff on there that you might want to see. Square like that, but when you really clench your fist, it rounds out. Man, I just got a cramp. It kind of rounds like this, like that, and that shows that it has more power to it. Like that. You see how it's not square, it narrows here and it goes wide there, but it rounds out down here. So you want to do that, and then you put your fist, which is just a rectangle right here, and then your lines, and it depends on how much, like you won't see the underneath these fingers unless I tilt it a little bit like that. Then you see the bottom of the fingers. So all you have to do is just draw a line here, and then you bring your fingers under there, and then you can see the bottom. But when you do, you'll see a little bit of the palm, because the hand is really, where is it? It's really not flat. Pencil out. It's not flat. You're going to have these knuckles going to be pointed at whatever you're punching, or if you have a gun, these knuckles are aiming at the thing. So when you make a fist, it's still pointed, but it's not flat. I can squeeze, or bend my wrist in, and then it'll be like flat down for like punching a wall or something. But realistically, it's not. So that's just something to think about. When you're drawing like a hand from the front, it's going to be like that. So yeah, it's not going to be straight down like that. Okay, so we got this. Got the fist right here. Got this again, like I say, 1, 2, 3. And if I want to let you see the bottom of that, the bottom of those fingers, I'll do a line here, and you'll just see the bottom of that a little bit. And you're going to see the wrist, the palm, go there. Now, I'm going to do a quick ink, because this is over 30 minutes. Sorry. I bought a exercise ball chair. You know, the big old rubber balls? Yeah, and they have a thing where it, as a chair, you put the ball in it and you're sitting on the ball. I had to adjust myself. This is just what I'm saying for that. You know, because my back is killing me. When you sit at the drawing table, you start hunching over. Let's do the big guy. You know, you start hunching over from you know, drawing. So I bought this exercise ball, and it forces you to sit straight. So it takes that hunch out the back. But it's in the beginning, it's really hard on your lower back muscles because you're not used to it. You know, 60-some years of drawing in a regular chair, and now I want to try to be, you know, posturally correct, I guess. So anyway, we have left over is going to be the triangle for your traps. Center line, triangle is going to go at the top. At this base bottom here, let me get my blue again. Where did the blue go? There it is. You have I have my collarbone here. Now my neck is going to come up in a V to wherever that those delts are, triceps. Never mind. So let me do this again. Torso, collarbone, delt, traps. Thank you, Brian. Traps. So, okay, you have this left over. When you draw your collarbone through this oval, you don't want to take it way up top. That was just for the angle of the torso. Now, wherever you have this, your neck is going to be at a V. And that V is going to go right up until it hits the top of that arch, and then it goes up straight. And then you put your head there. If he's looking straight on, if you're like straight there, I put my chin right here on the top of that arch, and then I go on to draw the head. If he's looking down, then I will bring the chin down here and then draw the head. And that makes him look, it gives him that appearance of looking down. So you have less side neck, but the neck goes just like that. It's just this V, like that, goes up, and then you put your head on that. And there are muscles like, here's your ear, here's another ear. There's muscles that come from here, from behind the ear. Is it behind the ear? I think it's behind the ear. And then it comes down to that center line, and then you have your delts, traps, your traps here. And of course, like I say, your collarbone is like that. Yeah, and then your this goes up behind your neck. Yeah, so it's like this, and you slap an extra piece of meat on it, and it goes up to your neck. So as I say, each part of the body is a separate piece. You just draw those separate pieces and you connect them where they go, and then and then you can draw any position, anywhere, time, season, whatever, and it'll come out right. Okay, so his head is down like this. His head is kind of tilted because he's like looking. This position is not looking. He's kind of preparing for something. And as I said, I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn it into one of my characters. But I have to figure out what character I want to turn it into for something like that position, to represent that position. I mean, that could be like a Captain America with a shield, but I don't have a Captain America shield character. It could be, yeah, I couldn't see a soldier. I mean, that could be a gun, you know, a couple guns, you know, but yeah, you'd have to figure, I'll figure it out. So anyway, here it is. Here's the head. And there's the part of the neck and the shoulder here and the delt there. So you have that. Now, what I would do is I would kind of walk away for a minute and then come back and make sure everything to me is correct. Now, this is the legs are not as spread apart as the this one. You know, I can redo that if I choose to, but for the sake of time, I'm not. I've been studying the way that the manga artists draw their characters, and they take it to the extreme, you know, as wide as they can, as much of a curve as they can. And I kind of like that. I've always liked that, but I've gotten my style. But I'm going to start incorporating that extreme twist, extreme stretch, extreme, you know, stance, whatever, with my action pose positions, so that you guys can have more of a dynamic pose, better than a lot of the other guys out there. When you show your pose, you're like, wow, how did you do that? And you know, they don't know the little bit of, you know, the nuances that got you like that. So I want to incorporate that into the drawings. And I am going to continue with the hugs and the kisses. I was going to do this, the video was going to come up in place of this, but as I started drawing it, I started seeing so many other things that I want you guys to know. So I'm going to implicate that. So it's going to be a deep video. They're going to be deep when it comes to those. Anyway, action pose positions, it's going to be deep, but not like, you know, deep enough to drown yourself in. So let's do this. Let's I'm trying to think, add the muscle or just do the overall. Let's do the overall. We'll do the muscle in there as well. My thumb is cramping. I've been online for the last couple of days, and my thumb, just holding that mouse, is just cramping my thumb up. So we have this and this. Remember, it goes right down to that base of that collarbone, and it goes behind that delt, because the delt goes between it. The delt is, how can I draw that? Well, I'll just look at it and show you. The delt is like this, and then the trap is like this, and your delt goes around it like that, and then your arm comes down like that. So it goes around it. So when you tilt the character, you're going to see the actual second part behind it to show that the delt is curved around like that. Certain positions. Okay, so we have this, and we have this hand. This is the triangle. This is the hand. It's just quick, as I say, quick inking. Doing exactly what I told you not to do. Don't try to draw the whole thing. But yeah, it's different. For the sake of time, and we give him a little lat. Come in. So this is going to be pinching. This is not. It's going to go there. This leg, knee, and I will get into the muscle part, you know, once I get this finished. And it's going to, the calf is round. So this is going to go in here because it covers the back of that leg. My foot, this. So this is stretched. This is kind of pinched, but it's still going to go down into the stomach. Around here we have the delt. Is that the delt? I think it's the delt. Called out too many body part names. So okay, then we have the basic shape form. Yeah, let's just say everything looks good. Blah blah blah. So you know that the chest is going to come up and down. So the chest is going to turn right here. This is the purpose for that. It's going to turn right here. But since that arm is up, it's pulling the bicep. I love this figure because this is as close as you can get to a really moving, pull it down, a really moving, well-made figure as far as drawing. But there are certain things it won't do. Like when you pull the arm up, the chest pulls, the chest goes up, it pulls with that arm. And there's some delt stuff that it won't do. But as far as something with the ball and joint, this is overall worth it. And I believe it's still $89, which is not a bad price on Amazon. So I would recommend that you would get one. So remembering that this is tilted, so your chest is going to be tilted too. So this is up, your chest is still going to be tilted too. So I'm going to do that. It's to split the chest. It goes up here. Your which is kind of off your abs, or the opening for your stomach, is going to go down here and around. Your abs are going to be here. Let's just put the first one right under where this curve is. Put the second one, it's going to start turning here. The third one, down right at the waist. And you have this big one, which is right there in the waist, hip. Can't get those right. Can't get those right. Okay, anyway, so yeah, there you have that. And because of you have this, and this goes down here, this this actually touches your oblique. So you have this and you have this. So you have this black space right there. That's what I'm trying to get to before I kind of screwed it up. So again, you have this, and then you have your oblique, and you have the black area. Where's my other paper? This is your other paper. Let's do this. See, now I'm going above and beyond. And like I said, I'm going to finish this, and it's going to be, where is it? And it's going to be one of my characters, but it's going to be on Patreon because it's going to take longer. So we have this, and then you have your obliques, right? So right here and here, your abs come kind of straight down. So right here you have this kind of open skin area, and then the shadow in it, it will be black. And that just, it helps when you kind of define your abs. Yeah, it just gives it that better ab look. So yeah, throat is dry. Yeah, okay, so got this. This is gonna come up under here. Your underarm is there. If you do from here to here, this is where your serratus muscles are gonna be at, and then you see the five ribs. And in between the serratus, you have your actual ribs that come around like that, which I never draw that because it makes the guy look hungry. And of course, your lats are going to come out from under the arm. It can be like that. And I think your lats are right here, and then your serratus muscles come right under the lats. So this is too far. So you do your lats, and then your serratus or serratus muscles are like right there too. So got this, got that. You know how to draw the foot. Like that, easy for you. And then again, say you just, depending on what you're drawing, boots or whatever on your character, you just erase this. You just erase this part. Yeah. So in the Patreon part, I'll do stuff like get into detail with the faces. As I say, clothes, remembering to make stuff round on your character to fit, like pull lines. Depending on what the person has, your eye line, where's your eye line at, and that determines, I would say my eye line on this cat would probably be somewhere up in here, in the middle somewhere. And that determines everything else that you put in the back, where you put your background at and so forth. Just stuff that's more detailed, detailed intel. But first in the YouTube part, I want to get you to get to this point right here. Then if you're just satisfied with that, then you can keep that. But if then you want to turn it into Batman or whoever, then you can go and do that. And since he's leaning that way, I'll give him a cape like that. Yeah, so he can have the Batarang in one hand and, I don't know, a lightsaber in the other hand. Yeah, that's why I love comic books. So, okay, that's going to be it for this. No, that's going to be it for you for the YouTube section in this video. The Patreon section, I'll keep going. So for the YouTube end of it, that's going to be it. And I will see you guys in the next video. And as I said, I'm going to continue with the hugs and the kisses. Oh, basically the couple series. This with couples, because there's so many kisses, there's so many different hugs, there's so many different stuff that I want to make sure you know it and just don't get stuck drawing one thing, just the same way there's so many action poses. All right, that's going to be it. I will see you guys in the next video.